Is Prince Hamzah of Jordan still alive? Ever since 2021, when King Abdullah's brother was placed under house arrest, the world has been left guessing. Official statements claim he's safe, but the complete silence, the absence from public view, and the swirling rumors of his death tell a different story. Why has no new image, no new video of Hamzah ever surfaced? And what is the truth the royal palace might be desperately trying to hide? We uncover the chilling mystery of Prince Hamzah and ask, has the world already lost him without even knowing it? Let's dive into Empire Elegance. In the heart of the Middle East lies the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, a country defined by its stability in a region often marked by turmoil. At its helm stands King Abdullah II, a monarch who inherited the throne in 1999 after the passing of his father, the revered King Hussein. But behind the stoic royal facade is a story laced with family tension, political maneuvering, and a tragic fraternal rift. Central to this narrative is Prince Hamzah bin Hussein, once crown prince, now stripped of title, freedom, and perhaps even legacy. Born in 1980, Hamzah is the son of King Hussein and his American-born fourth wife, Queen Noor. He was widely believed to be King Hussein's favorite, often seen by the monarch's side, and cherished for his strong connection to Jordan's tribal roots. From a young age, Hamzah's demeanor and bearing marked him as a figure of future leadership, humble, devout, and immensely popular among Jordanians, particularly those in rural areas. When King Hussein died in early 1999, it was initially assumed that his brother, Crown Prince Hassan, would succeed him. But just 2 weeks before his death, Hussein shocked the nation and reshuffled the line of succession, naming his eldest son, Abdullah, as king and designating Hamzah as the new crown prince. But the royal arrangement was never built to last. In 2004, everything changed. In a televised address that stunned the nation, King Abdullah II delivered a quiet earthquake. He stripped Prince Hamzah of his title as crown prince. The king claimed the role was merely symbolic and said it was holding Hamzah back. But behind those carefully chosen words, many sensed deeper tension. No new heir was named, and for 5 long years, the throne's future remained uncertain until 2009, when King Abdullah finally chose his own son, Hussein, as the next crown prince. In that moment, Hamzah's destiny was sealed. His path to the throne was over, and a silent power shift began to unfold behind palace walls. Though he did not publicly object to the decision at the time, the change marked the beginning of Hamzah's quiet estrangement from the core of royal power. Yet he remained visible, attending official events, engaging with the public, and subtly crafting an image of a princely figure close to the people. It wasn't until 2022 that the full impact of this long-simmering disconnect came to light. In a statement shared on Twitter, Hamzah announced that he was renouncing his royal title altogether. His carefully worded message expressed deep disillusionment, stating that his personal convictions no longer aligned with the approaches, trends, and modern methods of Jordan's institutions. This was more than a resignation. It was a revelation of internal conflict within the highest echelons of the Hashemite family. Hamzah spoke of honoring God and conscience, signaling a break not just with the title, but with what he perceived to be the direction of the kingdom. He framed the decision as one born of principle rather than politics, adding a heavy emotional weight to what was already a historic announcement. To understand the emotional charge behind Hamzah's decision, one must delve deeper into the dynamics of Jordan's succession. King Hussein had always emphasized continuity and loyalty to the Hashemite legacy, a sentiment that guided his last-minute changes in succession. For him, Abdullah represented military stability, while Hamzah symbolized the monarchy's roots among the people. But once Abdullah became king, a different vision for the monarchy emerged, one that did not leave room for Hamzah's growing popularity and independent persona. Beyond this, removing Hamzah from the line of succession was thus not just a practical move, but a calculated step to consolidate power. The decision to later name King Abdullah's son as crown prince reinforced the trend of direct hereditary succession, strengthening the reigning family line, but alienating those who had once believed in the late king's wishes. It was a silent but profound break from King Hussein's dying intentions, and Hamzah became the symbol of what was lost in that shift, an alternative vision of Jordanian monarchy that now seemed increasingly marginalized. In a sudden and unsettling development, Prince Hamzah was placed under house arrest. The public learned of the situation through a video message Hamzah recorded and sent via his lawyer to the BBC. Calm but visibly strained, the prince spoke of his confinement, of being silenced, and of watching his beloved country drift further into what he described as misgovernance and corruption. Initially, the government dismissed the matter as an internal family business, but the prince's emotional appeal to the public presented an unprecedented challenge to the monarchy's image. These videos were not the outbursts of a rebel, but the sorrowful testimony of a man who had grown disillusioned with the institution he once represented. Days later, King Abdullah announced that Hamzah was under his protection, effectively confirming the prince's isolation without ever explicitly stating the reasons behind it. Behind the grand palace walls, the royal family moved to contain the storm. In keeping with Bedouin tradition, King Abdullah turned to a trusted elder, their uncle, Prince Hassan, to mediate the rising tensions. A sulha, a traditional act of reconciliation, was carefully arranged. It was both a gesture of peace and a strategic move to silence the growing whispers. Prince Hamzah appeared on national television, pledging loyalty not only to King Abdullah, but also to the new heir, Crown Prince Hussein. On the surface, the crisis seemed resolved, but behind those public vows, trust had already shattered. In the days that followed, Jordan fell into a heavy, uneasy silence. The political sphere quieted, but it was the kind of quiet that screams. The letter from Prince Hamzah, though framed as a declaration of unity, read more like a forced surrender. Many Jordanians saw through the palace's carefully crafted script. This wasn't reconciliation, it was containment. A royal feud paused, but never truly ended. And beneath the glittering image of unity, a bitter truth lingered. The House of Hashem was deeply divided. Western allies, particularly the United States, were quick to issue statements of support for King Abdullah II. The accusations against Hamzah were vague, the evidence thin, and the alleged foreign plot lines riddled with implausible connections. The more the regime insisted the danger had been neutralized, the more the world began to question what had really happened and why. The king's version of events painted Hamzah as a reckless conspirator encouraged by foreign actors and radical tribal elements, but in the eyes of many Jordanians, he was something far simpler, a truth-teller. His criticisms of mismanagement, corruption, and repression struck a nerve with a population long disillusioned by economic hardship and political stagnation. In him, they saw a reflection of the late King Hussein, noble, direct, and unafraid. So, when reports of Hamzah's house arrest began to circulate in April 2021, it was framed as a necessary action to preserve national stability. However, the more details emerged, the more they resembled a family reckoning rather than a genuine coup. In a leaked recording, Hamzah's frustration boiled over. His voice, calm but steely, questioned the military envoy who had come to warn him. "Is the mismanagement of the state my fault?" he asked. "Am I responsible for the ongoing failures?" These were not the words of a man plotting sedition. They were the words of a man who had been pushed too far. The palace swiftly moved to contain the fallout. Media coverage was banned, and loyal officials repeated the narrative of unity, while whispers of deeper turmoil spread quietly across the kingdom. In the months that followed the royal crisis, Prince Hamzah disappeared. No public appearances, no messages, no photographs. The man who once stood at the threshold of Jordan's future simply vanished, swallowed by the shadows of the palace. And as silence deepened, the rumors began. Was he under house arrest? Was he exiled, imprisoned, or something worse? The official statement remained cold and controlled. The prince is safe. He is at peace. But the palace offered no proof, and no voice came from Hamzah himself. By late 2022, the whispers turned darker. Some spoke of illness. Others hinted at isolation so severe it broke the mind. A few even dared to utter the word poison. But no images surfaced, no updates, no denials, only silence, the kind that makes the truth feel dangerous. Then, one day, an announcement came, shrouded in royal language. There was no direct confirmation, no official obituary, But the way it was worded sent shockwaves. Had Prince Hamzah died, quietly, behind palace walls, or was it just another layer in a carefully constructed illusion? There was no grand funeral, no televised tribute, no royal procession. Foreign dignitaries were absent. State media barely mentioned his name. There were no tributes to his legacy, no celebration of his role in Jordan's history. For some, it felt like an ending. For others, a cover-up. Why such secrecy? Why such silence? Some believe he's alive, hidden away, his spirit broken. Others believe he's gone, but the truth too dangerous to reveal. And then there are those who think he may one day return if the palace ever loosens its grip on the past. Is Prince Hamzah truly gone, or just erased from view? In a kingdom where loyalty is law and silence is power, the mystery remains. What really happened to Prince Hamzah, and why won't anyone speak his name? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe to Empire Elegance, and hit the notification bell for more powerful stories about the lives and legacies of the world's most influential figures. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in our next video.